but this is what you already know. Now the question is, what is stopping you from getting there? Because you have the value, you have the vision, you have the method, you are in a state of resourcefulness, you know that yoga works, you know meditation works, you know reading the book works, yet there is something that is not motivating you to get there, right? What is that? That is the obstruction. That is the objectionable part, because somewhere it is not aligned, somewhere it is not congruent, somewhere it's not imbibed in the values that you bring to the table. So there is an obstruction, right? There is an objection. Dick says, if there wasn't an objection, there wasn't an obstruction, you would have already got it. The reason why it is still a vision, the reason why it's still a dream, is because there is something which is stopping you. What is stopping you? That's a good question to ask on your goal, right? You've been holding this goal for too long. For what reason have I not taken the first step? For what reason have I not taken the first step? It's a good question to ask. There are people who tell me, I want to learn a new language. I'm asking them, what's stopping you? There's people who tell me weeks after weeks, months after months, and even after 2 years, they tell me that I need to visit this country. I want to take that solo trip, and 2 साल के बाद भी लिया नहीं है. My question is, what is stopping you? My question to you is, what is stopping you? Identify that obstruction. That obstruction को identify करना ज़रूरी है, because otherwise everything will fail, right? Your litmus test is value. If your value is in place, your obstruction can be sorted. The formula to deal with obstruction is simple. Remove the negative self-belief. Remove and work on the concept of self, and add additional resources to the state of resourcefulness. And once you do this, you will realize you will be able to move from where you are to where you want to go. The obstruction to your desired outcome, to your goal, to your dream, this obstruction is something which stays in between your current state and your desired state. That brings me to ask you this question: what is your present state? I know you have a dream, I know you want to go somewhere, but the question is, where are you right now? If you put on Google Map, you want to go to Hughesville, Google Map will ask you, where are you now? If you put on Google Map that you want to go to Tsinsa Shui, Google Map will ask you, where are you now? It cannot navigate you. It cannot navigate you unless it knows where you are right now. So it calls you to be honest. It calls you to be fascinated, more than fascination, to be honest with your goals. And once you are honest with your goals, you will be honest with your present state. And it's good to say that you're behind on your promises. There are pennies in my pocket, and I've screwed up some relationships. Well, that's the present state. Good. Now my question is, where do you want to go? I need to have some bucks of money. I need to have better relations. I need to do something else. That's something which changes everything. To know where you are, that's heavy, right? That's painful to know this is where you are. You're messed up sometimes, and we are all messed up in different ways. But to acknowledge that fact, to be aware of that fact, is bringing to surface the possibility of going somewhere else. लेकिन जब तक हम इसके साथ honesty नहीं बरकरार रखते हैं, जब तक we are not truthful to this goal, we are not going to reach here, because that's a lie now we are going to tell ourselves. We are hiding this, we are putting this under the carpet, we are not cleaning the poop in the floor, and we still want to go here. How will you go here if this is going to stink, if this is going to be painful, and if this is going to be problematic? You got to be honest to this. So wake up today and tell yourself, I've screwed up some relationships, but I want to work on it and make it better. I've got pennies in my pocket, but I'm committed to pay all of them and make more money. I have messed up in so many things. So it's good to be honest to the present state, not to lie. And that's when you go to the present, to the desired state. And when you take this journey, you will realize there is obstruction. And once when you're honest to the present state, you will realize that this is the place of disgust. This is a place where you do not want to be. This is a place from where you want to move. Now the question is, where do you want to move? You want to move to better relations. You want to move to better financial health. You want to move to better opportunities. So what is stopping you? It's the obstruction. This is where the obstruction is. So what is this obstruction? This obstruction is something which is stopping you from moving from the present state to the desired state. How does the obstruction look like? The obstruction has negative self-talks. The obstruction has a state of helplessness. The obstruction has a state of hopelessness. And how do you overcome this? What is the bridge that you will work around? The bridge that you will work around is the state of resourcefulness. To have the right mentors, to have the right practices, to have the right design, to have the right sponsorship, which will touch you, which will move you, who will see you and take you around these obstructions towards your desired state, towards your goals. Once you are on this path of reaching yourself from where you are to the goal that you want to go, it's important to have regular measurement. Measurement to know, where are you? Have you been stalled? Is your team member progressing, or are they stalled? Are you progressing? What's the rate of progression? When will you reach that goal? This measurement is important. Also, what is very important is to know that you've reached your goal. Otherwise, you will be beating a dead horse even after it is dead, because you're still working towards your goal. Some people are still working. I've met people even after 2 years and they say they're dieting. So it's so important to know, where are you on this goal? And even if there is a little bit of progress, it's progress. Don't beat yourself up, because progress is progress. Doesn't matter how small, how slow, it's still a progress. Yeah. But it's also important to know, for some reason, if you're not progressing, do you have a valid reason for it? Sometimes you want to dwell on it, and maybe that's also progress. But sometimes you know that goal is stalled and stopped, and therefore you need to delete that from your system. That is where the decision of the 5 Ds will come in picture. So measurement is so important. So in the NLP class, I give the story of this dog chasing a car in a village. Okay, so the farmer is sitting, whose dog that is, and the farmer's friend is sitting next to this farmer, and this friend is asking the farmer, I'm thinking, will the dog ever get the car? The farmer is saying, that's not my worry at all. My worry is, what will the dog do even after he gets the car? So my question is, are we sometimes chasing meaningless goals? If yes, drop it. Why chase that when life can still be aligned, right? Life can still be aligned. In this wonderful space of time that we have, whatever time that we have here on earth, we got to create our identity and live that life in full peace. Judy used to tell us that when the wave rises, that's all the identity that it has. Before that wave, it's a sea. After the wave, it is still the sea. इसके पहले भी वो समंदर, इसके बाद भी वो समंदर, but that is creating the identity. And in that identity, whatever you create stays. That's the only identity you have. इसके बाद, इसके पहले और हमेशा के लिए, it's only going to be the big vast sea. So what you do is, in that time, in that flowing river of time, pick out that, hold that time that you have, which is important, to build the goal which is important, meaningful and valuable, to spend, to spread, to grow, to align, to be in ecology with the people you love the most. That's where goals come in picture. That's where your family will subscribe to it, to be aligned with the closest relations that you hold, because in the end, it's all the sea, and the wave will flow again.